Thank you. My name's Luke Cox and I'm the CEO of Caprice. Now today I've actually chosen one of those sexy metals, which is gold. Obviously gold's going for a bit of a run and we've got some pretty good gold projects in a well-known region called the Murchison. So a lot of people head east from Perth and hit Kalgoorlie, but if you drive north from Perth, you hit the Murchison goldfields. And that's essentially what I'm going to talk about today. So a bit of a competence statement there. So probably a competence statement, I started life as a geo, worked my way through the ranks, especially in gold. So I've explored for gold, I've developed gold projects, I've started gold projects up, I've mined gold as a gold mining manager, closed gold mines down and actually got into the sales of gold as well. So I used to work for companies like Goldman Sachs, Rothschild, Barclays Capital so I've really worked through the whole commodity gold cycle. But today it's all about finding gold out in the Murchison. So the business cashed up, we've got 2.5 million in the bank. We actually just did a deal with Top Drill. So Top Drill will drill for equity. So that was for another $1 million. So we're actually out there drilling right now in the Murchison. And really the next couple of months is just about me delivering assay results on what we've hit out there. So fully funded, we're drilling right now and we're hitting the gold zones. Probably one other thing to notice there is Rob Waugh. He's a seasoned geologist in gold as well in the Q area where we're drilling. And I'll talk a little bit about Rob at the end of the presentation. But as I say, fully funded and we're drilling. So as I say, drive north of Perth, about 7 hours and you hit the Murchison goldfields. So you've got the big players up there. So you've got people like Westgold and Ramelius. And we'll go to the next one to show you why that's so important. So if you look at the blue tenements, that's us. So right in the middle, we've got the Island Gold Project. The rig is there right now. It's a track-mounted RC rig. And we're drilling and we're hitting the gold zones right now, which is a picture on the right. But if you look at the orange blocks that surround us, that used to be called Musgrave. Now, Musgrave was taken out by Ramelius a couple of years ago for a couple of $100 million. The blue blocks that we own were the last salvages of that area. It was well held by a prospector from Q. He vended those projects into Caprice, and that's what we're running with right now. Also, just in the middle on the right-hand side, you see some blue dotted lines. They're new tenements that we've just picked up. Now, the reason why we like those and their applications is in there's a structure that's identical to Hill 50. Now, Hill 50 is at the south, and that hosts 6 million ounces. So it's not as if we're exploring for gold. We found the gold. Now it's a case for me to drill this thing out. And that's what I do. I drill deposits out. I get them to a certain size. We release that to the market. We also get a run in the share price. And then it's the next day, well, do I mine it as a mine manager? Or do we look at people around us? So obviously we're surrounded by Ramelius. They've got the Hill 50 mill to the south. Westgold have got a mill to the north of us, and we're not talking great distances because we've got the Great Northern Highway that runs down the side of our tenement. So there's satellite pits all along the Great Northern Highway feeding these mills. So we'll just become another one of those pits, obviously gold and delivering into those areas. So what have we been up to? So we've been drilling the Island Gold Project, which is the picture on the right. Over Christmas, we had some really good intersects, which I'll talk about. But phase 3 is what we're drilling now. We're extending the gold zones along strike and going to depth. Now at this point, I'm just thinking about, okay, well, how am I going to get ore to the mill as soon as possible? And that's doing open pit resources. So I'm only really drilling down to 150 meters and hitting the gold zones. And then over time, to get that significant mass of gold, then we start talking about going underground. And that's where I start doing diamond drilling and going to depth. But at this point, shallow drilling, let's see what's at the surface. This area has been prospected over since 1893 when it was first located. The gold's located in the Banded Iron Formation. Just like everyone else in the Murchison goldfields, we have cross-cutting structures where the gold comes in. So they're northeast structures, and you can see them right across the tenement. And this is what it looks like. So if you was to drive along the Great Northern Highway, just outside Q, so Q's got fuel, food, accommodation, police stations, schools, everything's on my doorstep, so I don't have to build anything. All I've got to do is prove up this resource. And if we look at that map, all the yellow areas are where I've been hitting the gold. So there, I've only targeted 4 areas, and every area I've targeted, I've hit gold, and decent grade as well. So when I used to be a mine manager at Evolution Mining, when we did the startup for that, I was mining 1 gram a tonne, and the gold price was around 1,500, and we was making good cash. Now that like I'm getting grades of 6 grams a tonne, and the gold price is at 5,000, so it's a whole new world for the gold industry. So as I say, I've only targeted 4 areas. I'm getting good grade, way above that 1 gram a tonne, which you need for open pit. I've got all of these other prospects. So these are historical prospects where guys came along, they scratched the surface, they found the nuggets, but they were just looking for nuggets. What I'm looking for is to go underneath, let's prove up these resources and create that significant gold discovery in the guts of the Murchison. So this is what they look like. So all we've done, we've gone underneath the historical workings, we started to hit the gold zones. And one analogy here is it's almost like a golden ladder. So every step of the ladder is where I'm getting ounce dirt, but in between I'm getting grades, anything from 0.5 gram up to 6 grams, but getting these really high grade zones. And that's what the old timers were chasing. But as I say, they were only at the surface. I'm going to depth and really increasing this resource. So that one's called Vadrons. Just whilst I was at Vadrons over Christmas, we sent the rig 250 metres to the south. I saw an old working, there was some quartz reefs at the surface. We dropped a deep hole and we had a discovery there. So you can see all these little, I guess, magenta discs. They're all the gold hits. So there's what we're looking for where there's significant gold that will create an open pit. So obviously Baxter Golconda, open pitable. Vadrons Hill, that will go. New Orient, that will go. So you'll see these long elongated pits start to get developed. And as I say, we're drilling right now that new discovery. So a couple of months ago, we hit 22 metres at 2.3. We're coming in, we're drilling above and below it. We're still hitting the gold zones. So as I say, this is wide open. We've only targeted 5% of the area. Baxter Golconda, it's still open at depth. It's gold lodes that are going to depth. They're diving to the north. They're all located in the banded iron formations. And that's what a banded iron formation looks like. So it's a whole stack of iron ore, if you like, and in between the bands is the gold, but also there's flat line structures, which are the steps of the ladder as you go through the gold zone. So if you was to go in there, the old timers would have chased these little ladder steps where you get the ounce dirt, but for us, we'll take the whole band out, and there'll be long elongated pits all the way through the Island Gold Project. So everyone says to me, $1 million question, Luke, how much have you got there? How many ounces do you have right now? So what I do, I just look around me. So the Island Gold, if you look at the picture on the left, the Island Gold Project is us. I literally look across the road and you've got Ramelius and the Break of Day. So they proved up 1 million ounces, and that's literally 10 Ks on the same geology just to the south of us. So they proved up 1 million ounces. Then you go to the north and you hit mainland Ireland. That's where Ramelius is now. They're having a crack at that. And head further north and you hit Comet. So that's only another 10 Ks away on the same geology and the same structures, and they proved up 1 million ounces. So these things don't happen overnight. The only way I'm going to prove this up is to drill it, and that's why I've got the rig there right now. Obviously, Top Drill are our drillers. They're doing a great job. And what we're trying to really achieve is what Comet did. So as you can see, they created these long, elongated pits right to the northern end. They just chased one of these lodes down and it kept on going. So they're called Bugatti breaks. They're well known for the Murchison, Hill 50, the whole area. Just keep on drilling, you'll just keep on hitting the gold zone that goes down, and that's how you create 1 million ounces, open pits, then an underground. So it's almost like that Comet mine is potentially what will become in the future. So as I say, if you want an idea of what's in the zone, 1 million ounce deposits. So also just within that area, we did pick up some ground called Cutting Wire. So Cutting Wire is to the northeast of the island. Early exploration, we went up there. Westgold have got the majority of that area. They've got their mining sites there right now. We run parallel to them. When we went out there, we started mapping the geology. It's identical to Cutting Wire. So it's north-south striking, greenstone belts. We then located visible gold there in the quartz reefs. There is a channel zone, so generally you're looking for these cross-cutting structures which are called Bugatti breaks. We've got one there right now. On the right-hand side, we've got gold mines. That Bugatti break comes into our area. That area has never been drilled, so we're quite keen to put a drill rig in there as soon as possible. We'll do some geochemical sampling, then we'll follow up with a couple of air core holes. But that's one of the classic targets is all of the good deposits have been found because they're at surface and everyone's had a go at them. You're looking for stuff that's undercover, and this is one of the classic zones. So as I say, so Rob Waugh has just joined us. So there's a couple of synergies here. So Rob Waugh was the MD of Musgrave. Musgrave Resources was the tenements that surround us. They then got bought out by Ramelius, and now Rob's pretty much, he's my boss now. He's worked that area for 12 years, so he knows how the game works up there. He knows who the players are, he knows who to talk to, he knows the geology. So yeah, so it's great having Rob as my boss now, and obviously he comes in my office quite regularly up in West Perth, and we have those discussions on what we need to do next now to develop this resource. So just to finish up with, it's all about gold, but in my back pocket, I do have quite a large land holding in the West Arunta. So this is not on hold, I'm just keeping it on the boil, but obviously rare earths are kicking off at the moment, especially with what's going on with Trump. So yeah, West Arunta is the area where WA1 hit the niobium. We have a large land holding there. What we're chasing is the central thrust. The northern thrust is WA1, the central thrust is Caprice, and the southern thrust is Tarley. So it's a tightly held area. We pretty much are the third biggest landholder up there. But as I say, I can't chase everything, so I have to pick my horse, and I've picked the gold horse. And we're having, the rigs are out there now, we're hitting the gold, we're proving up the resource. But as I say, this is really in the back pocket. It's almost coming for free. This is the free project for you guys, but yeah, we'll go hard on the gold. And that's it. That's Caprice. That's where we're at. Thank you.